Hi. Okay, before we get started, I want to give a brief lesson on the way you hold your hair while you're cutting it and what result that would lead in. So if you elevate your hair while you're cutting it, you're gonna layer as it lays flat. The higher the elevation, the more layers. And the lower it is, it's gonna be less graduation. Also, if you cut over directing these in, you're gonna leave more length, right? So if you have a guide here and you over direct outer hair toward that center, when it falls back to natural fall, it's gonna be a little bit longer. And if you wanted sort of really square, blunt things, then you wanna kinda keep that in mind and work from your guide outward. Guide outward. If you want it more rounded, you can over direct toward the center. So I'm just gonna work off of the bangs that I have. And then just tuck everything else behind my ear. And if you're working with whatever scissors you have in your house, start with a smaller section. That way, if they're dull, it's still gonna cut through. Another thing that I like to do is point cut versus cutting straight. So you're cutting up toward your hairline, and that's just gonna create a softer edge and not so blunt. So I'm gonna start just a little center section. And I'm gonna elevate just a little bit because I want it to be soft. And I'm not gonna cut right up to my hand. I'm gonna give, right up to my fingers, I'm gonna give a little bit of room. And I don't wanna cut a ton. Just go a little bit at a time. You can always cut more. And you can let your guide down and see where that falls. And I think that's a good start. And I'm gonna take a little bit at a time, and I'm gonna over direct mine to the center. So you can over direct, and you could see this guide here. That's what I just cut. And then you see how it's a little bit longer. And then I like to work from side to side. I think that you get more even, more balance with that. And then a little bit more. So you see these guys that are really long that I like to be kind of right around my cheekbone. I'm gonna leave that out. Guide. I bet I wanna cut. This guy, I'm just gonna leave out. Guide. Again, this is how much I'm elevating. Just not a ton, but a little bit so it's softer and not so blunt and harsh. I think that's pretty good. So you can cut a little bit more if this is too long and you want to just do the same technique from beginning to end. Hope that was helpful.